One very, very important thing to know, that it's not exactly your fault. In my opinion, it's not your fault. Being friend-zoned is not your fault. Hello everyone. Once again, this is Dare to Speak. I did a couple of videos on this subject on women that are very beautiful, or young, or girls, 18 to 24 or up to 30, or college girls in their 20s and this and that are very attractive, and why they behave the way they do. Like, for example, even though this is a little bit off the subject, but at the same time it's not. But at the same time, it's not off the subject. That many girls are actually attracted to tall guys, the guys that are tall, because it actually associates with protection and, a sense of security, because they can intimidate, creeps or, excuse me, or guys that are very harassable or whatever, they can't take a hint, no means no, or whatever kind of thing, or anything like that. And they have them around so they can feel secure, because they know they can intimidate shorter guys, and it usually works. Now, they say it's biological, that it's genetic. For the girls are just biologically attracted to tall guys for that reason, because it associates with security. It associates with protection. And that's known to be true. And that, like I said before, it's genetic. They're biologically born that way. They're wired that way. Now, it's extremely painful to know that a lot of women are actually like that, because it's part of our primal nature to be attracted to the more aggressive type of guys, the guys that are very assertive and stuff like that. And the more assertive and the more aggressive they are when it comes to protecting their woman, the more attracted they are to them. The more, the more they want them. And, as far as like their hormones going all crazy, they do get horny because of it. So it proves my point of the whole social Darwin thing. We live in a socially Darwinistic world. Everything is Darwin. Survival of the fittest, which I call the survival of the luckiest, not really necessarily the fittest, where the strong prevail and the weak are, they fall on the wayside, they're destroyed, and all that kind of thing. Now, for those guys who have ever been friend zoned by a very beautiful girl, let's say in the workplace, you're 21 years old. She's about the same age, 21. She's in college or whatever, or whether she's not in college or not. And you like her very much, and everything seems to be going great at first, and then she starts to become a little bit guarded, or she starts to become a little bit aloof. And she wasn't that way with you during the first week of knowing you. And you wonder why. I mean, you're a nice guy and everything like that. You joked around with her, she laughed, and everything was going well. But as soon as you started showing signs that you were attracted to her, she starts to step back a little bit, become a little bit guarded, and say, "Okay, look, I gotta get back to work. I gotta do this. I gotta do that." And you're like, "Oh, okay, no big deal." And then whenever you try to make an effort to come up to her, whenever she's not so busy, she still behaves the same way. And then you start getting the hint that she doesn't really like you that way. She doesn't like you that way. That's just how it is, you know? She's not attracted to you, and it's usually because of looks. You're not attractive enough, or they say you're not my type or whatever. To me, I don't know. In my opinion, I'm not saying that this is true. I'm not saying, that this is 100% true. I'm not saying that. But when someone says you're not my type, it's like a very nice way of saying you're ugly, or you're not the type that I like. You're too fat, or you're too weird looking, or you're too goofy looking, or you have the look of an incel or a loser. You have a look of a psychopath, like a rapist or something like that. Like you're a person who never accomplished a thing in his life, and you're a big time loser. Or you have that type of look, because some people they judge people by the cover. Like when they say don't judge a book by its cover, but unfortunately, not too many people practice what they preach, which makes them hypocrites. But that's how they are by nature. That's how they are by nature. They're genetically born that way. They're wired that way. And even though being superficial and stuff like that, or just being that way, can also be taught by their environment and by their upbringing, that's also true. There is truth to that, without a doubt. However, genetics plays a much larger role, in my opinion. Anyways, when you get friend zoned, it's actually the worst thing you can actually go through, because even though it's extremely painful to just say, you know what, she doesn't like me, so I'm not gonna go there, and then you hardly ever talk to her, and when you do, it's work related, and you just move on to someone else, just to some other girl that you might like, that might like you. But if you're the type of guy who gets rejected by beautiful women left and right, you have to realize that a lot of it is not just because of your behavior. A lot of it is because of the way you look. You just do not look attractive. You have no choice but to lower your standards and go with a girl who's not all that attracted to you, who's not all that attractive. But you don't want that. You want the good-looking girls. You want the ones that are, beautiful and stuff like that. But it's not going to happen. It's simply not going to happen, because you're too ugly, you're too weird-looking, you're too creepy-looking, or this and that. And then your attitude which gives a vibe, a very strong negative vibe, that you don't have any real social skills. You don't know how to behave in a public place, and when you socialize with good-looking people. So you give that vibe, which makes them even more uncomfortable, to the point that they don't even want to be near you. So that's why I strongly believe in improving your image in any way possible. If you can't stand the fact that you're not attractive and you're getting friend zoned by a lot of girls, but it doesn't work because like I said, being rejected and moving on to someone else's and say forget about this girl is much less painful. It's less painful because when you're friend zoned and you say, okay, you don't like me that way, that's fine. And then you still make an effort to talk to her, but then you're just saying, okay, we're just friends. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to flirt with you. But then there's times where you do flirt with her, but you're just trying to be funny. But she knows that you still like her. She knows you're still attracted to her. She knows that. She's not stupid. She could actually sense it from your vibe. That's just how it is. She could sense it. And because of that, she's going to be more aloof with you. And then she doesn't want to get to know you to the point that she actually starts to get annoyed with you. And that which makes the situation worse. And then when that's not worse enough to tear your heart in half, some other guy that comes around that works in the same department or whatever, and you become threatened by him because you could just tell that he's very good looking, very handsome, and he's basically like a chick magnet. And he meets her and she looks at him and she lights up. She smiles. He flirts with her to be funny. She laughs and she actually goes as far as to flirt back. And then you feel that anger and jealousy that's just driving you mad. It just tears you apart. And then this guy's like, I'm going to go for this girl. She likes me and this and that. And let's just say that his intentions was to close the deal with her. To go out with her and then finally, to hook up. And I mean hook up. And then he finally scores with her. And then you got wind of it that, oh, this guy just boned so-and-so. They had sex and this and that. And then what do you think you're going to feel? How are you going to feel when that happens? And you still hung up on this girl. How are you going to feel? You're going to feel like shit. You're going to feel... There is no words that I can even find right now that will make you... How it actually would make you feel. There is no fucking words at all. It is heart-wrenching. It is extremely painful. Being friend-zoned is bullshit. The only thing it's going to do is destroy you. It sucks. We live in a world in which the good-looking, the more socially powerful people, the ones that has experience, the ones that always gets good, they're the ones that are going to be getting the beautiful women. They're not going to go for beautiful women. The beautiful women are not going to go for the socially awkward, not very attractive, no experience whatsoever, which is not his fault. That's the thing. It's not that person's fault. He was born that way. He wasn't very good looking. He has no social skills. He was also picked on when you're. I'm pretty sure a lot of these people, just like with me, I was picked on in grade school, over in the schoolyard. I had thick Coke bottle glasses, and I was always messed with. I was always called goofy looking. And there's people out there that are either they were too fat, they were too weird, they had glasses, they were very nerdy, and they get bullied a lot, which destroys their self-esteem. And then it continues all the way from middle school all the way through high school, and for some people college, and for some other people in the workplace. How can someone like that be happy being a delta or a omega, while the alpha always gets the girl? That's why, we don't have a good choice. You don't have a good choice if you fit in this category. If you're a serious omega, an incel, a so-called loser. Being friend-zoned is 10 times worse than just being rejected and then just moving on to someone else. Someone who's going to like you for who you are and not give a shit too much about how you look. And like you for who, just basically like you. I mean, that's just how it is. It fucking sucks, but maybe, who knows? Maybe you can get lucky with some girl who's actually decent looking, who's maybe a 6, or maybe if you're lucky enough, a 7. Because you don't want to go for a 1 or a 2, or anything that's below a 5. You naturally don't want that, which is understandable. But if you're a person who's below a 5, as far when it comes to looks, I mean, what else do you expect? That's why I believe that you have no choice but to improve your looks by any means necessary. If you wear thick Coke bottle glasses that's actually ruining your appearance, wear contacts. Or get LASIK eye surgery. If you're a person who's fat, you know, of course like me, which is not very easy to lose weight, but if that's what it takes, if you have to take extreme measures to lose weight, which I'm losing weight slowly. I used to be 365. I weigh 318 right now. I'm still overweight, but I still got more to go. I'm doing great, but I still have more weight to lose. If you're a person who's too weird looking, maybe you dress a certain way, or just something about the way you look, polish up your appearance. Try to do whatever it takes to improve your looks. And believe me, it will improve your behavior, and it will improve your social skill. Your social skills will improve. And that's just how it is. Make social Darwinism work for you. Don't make it work against you. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Questions or comments, you know what to do. And this is Dare to Speak. And to all of you, take care.